Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my channel. I've taken a little hiatus as I've been traveling, and I'm home and rested and happy to be back with all of you here on YouTube. One of the most interesting things about my job, and hopefully some of you have had these experiences too, is communicating with the multisensory world. And in in one respect, I mean, I love all of the multisensory experiences, but communicating to the people who no longer live in the physical realm, it's really a profound and interesting and powerful experience as a medium. And it's always surprising and interesting to me to speak to my clients how it can be so transformative. It's a big part of healing, honestly, is communicating with those who've left this world. Not for them; they don't need any help. People who are not in their body experience creation, the universe, source, God, easily, whatever word you want to use, and they don't have a body, they don't have to pay taxes, they don't have to work, they don't need a home. They have a very different experience, and it's very fun and freeing and playful and imaginative, creative. It's very vast. What I find interesting, and I'm hoping for this conversation, it could help some people who have lost someone, who have a challenging time getting over the grief process. Grief is normal. It's an important part of letting go, even when we haven't had a physical loss in our life. There are many losses, not just the death of someone we love, but a job or our youth. Um, Moving from the family home. There's many types of losses that we have, and grief is normal. It helps us to let go. But some people become trapped in their grief about a loved one that's departed. Many times, people who were parents and lost a child, that's a phenomenal grief, and something within all of the cultures in the world where we have decided collectively that that's the worst thing that could ever happen to anyone. So it becomes the worst thing that could ever happen to someone, and they perpetually stay in that state of loss and don't get to really live their life fulfilled or in their magnificence, because grief can be a very low frequency experience unless it's authentic. Authentic grief can be very empowering and very freeing. But when we keep the grief at this perpetual state of constantly affecting us, uh, it's not always great for the human being in terms of having happiness and fulfillment and moving forward in their life. And our loved ones who've crossed over, regardless of their age or how they're connected to us, wouldn't want that for us. Remember, they're flying around having fun, not having a body, jumping into different dimensions, talking to God whenever they want to, which is really part of who we are. We're all part of creation and source and energy, and learning the secrets of the universe. So they're having a great time. And wouldn't it be interesting if we changed that perception globally? In fact, I wonder what would happen to the human race if we began to witness the loss of someone, not only from this grief, and we will never see them again in the third dimensional space, at least in this particular lifetime. What if we honored their decisions and their choices? Souls, which all of us are a soul, we bring parts of our soul to us on the earth realm to have a wonderful experience here on earth. Souls choose when they come to earth, they choose their parental units, they choose their gender, the century. All kinds of interesting choices are initially created, because once we get to earth, we have free will and we can change our mind about everything if we want to. Even in modern times, we can change our gender. Interesting. Souls are also choosing when they leave their bodies and how they leave their bodies. And souls are not affected by age, because it doesn't really exist. Time is a phenomenon created by man. It's not something that really exists outside of this earth realm. Wouldn't it be interesting if we started to honor the decision of a soul? We can still be sad, we can still cry for as long as we feel we need to. But if we start to honor their decisions and start to think about them having fun and playing on the other side, and how they would not want us to be trapped in something that's not even happening, like they're happy, they're connected, and they're making a decision for the advancement of their experience, for the evolution of who they are. And it's hard for us to know all the reasons why a soul would leave Earth as a child or as a young adult parent, because those are the two most difficult losses humans believe to be true. But what if we could agree ultimately that there's a really good reason for their departure, not only for them, but for us too? Because souls, if they want to work on something like letting go before they incarnate, they know that if they have to work on letting go of a loss of a significant person in their life, that they could easily master the art of letting go, because it's really hard to let go when you've lost a child or a spouse or a parent when you were young. It's almost like fermented into our brain that this is so terrible and it's the worst thing that ever happened to us. Imagine when we're holding that energy, what it does to our vibration. We've just had the worst, most terrible thing happen to us. Now it's going to follow us the rest of our lives and affect our magnificence, stall our genius coming forward, slow down our manifesting abilities, probably create more challenges in our life because we've just experienced the worst thing in the world that could happen to us. I think this is a fun and interesting conversation that I would love for all of the human race to start to have, not to ignore grief. I am in no way suggesting that, but maybe we can come to a place in our grief where we can celebrate whatever life our departed loved ones are having, because they are still fully alive and having a great life. And they're celebrating whatever it is that we're learning and healing from and expanding about. What if we can let go? Like Native Americans, and of course, you know, I haven't interviewed any Native Americans, even though my family has a lot of Native American blood. We've never studied any of the indigenous tribes, unfortunately. But it is well documented that when Native Americans decided it was time for their body to cease existence, they would tell their families. And they would have parties and they would do ceremonies. And then when winter came, those who wanted to depart would walk into the forest during the dead of winter and allow their bodies to succumb to hypothermia, and they would leave. And it was a very honored decision. It was that person's personal choice to decide to have a different existence. That's what we need to learn to celebrate. Grieve, cry, be upset for as long as we need to, and mad, and all the feelings that come along with grief, but then be able to celebrate the truth of what's really happening, not the worst thing that could ever happen to anyone, but a decision a soul is making, and that we respect them and we honor them. We wish them the best in their new travels, and we wish the best for ourselves in our new travels too. So I hope you find this helpful, and thank you for listening to the channel, and thank you for liking and subscribing below. Have a bright day. Bye-bye.